Hi boys and girls, for our next thing that we are doing, we are building a robot and then making a crayon rubbing of that robot so we can make him all different kinds of colors. You could also just take your robot that you build and color or paint, design him here. It's up to you. So what you're going to need for this project is some computer paper or just some light paper. You're going to need a box. So this is how we could use some recycling in our house. You could use a cereal box, you could use like a pretzel box, Cheez-It box, any of those kinds of things would work to build this project. It just needs to be very thin cardboard. Then I'm going to take my first piece of paper and I am going to cut shapes for my robot from here. So I could make a circle for a head, I could make an oval, so here's my oval. Maybe I'm going to use this now for my robot's head instead, and I'm going to glue it. And I can use this kind of glue or a glue stick, works perfect, to my paper like this. Okay, now my robot needs to have a neck. A square is usually really good for a neck. So I'm going to take my square, put a tiny bit of glue, dot, dot, not a lot. Hopefully you remember that. And then I am going to make his body. This time I think I'll make his body a rectangle. Now you can use a pencil to draw your shapes on the cardboard so that way if you make a mistake you can do what? You can erase it. Alright, so now I have my oval for my head. This is my neck. I'm going to use this for the body this time. I'm going to put some dots of glue on that. Let's see, for his legs, I want to use some small rectangles. So I'm going to just line this one up so I can make sure I make two the same size. And glue it on, dot, dot. Not a lot. Now, the pieces don't have to be touching. They can be a little bit separate. Sometimes that works good for doing this crayon rubbing. So see how there's a little bit of space? That's okay. That mine has a little bit of space. This part of my robot is going to be his arms. So I'm going to use triangles this time for his arms. I'm going to make it look like one arm is up and one arm is down. I'll show you what I mean by that. So it looks like my robot is waving to you. Now, first we're just going to build his body, which is what I'm doing right now. We are not going to make details like his eyes or nose or mouth yet. We're going to do that after we do our crayon rubbing, or if you just want to stop at building your robot and you want to just decorate this one, you can do it right on here. Okay, so I have some of these little turning pieces for my robot for his ears, arms, legs, body. I think that he looks pretty good to start off. So now I have to let this dry. Maybe give it an hour. So you could do this project and then let it dry for a little bit, go do something else and come back to it later. And the good part about this is that we can make as many of these as we want to. As long as you have this, you can make tons of different prints. So what I did, so I'm going to use my dry one because I did this earlier so that way I can show you what to do. I am going to take my thin piece of paper now and I'm going to put it on top of my robot. So here's my robot here. He's dry. I'm going to put this on top of him. And now I'm going to use my crayons to do a rubbing. Now, do I usually want you to use one color or do I want you to use lots of colors? Lots of colors. I hope that you're super creative and do lots of colors with this because it makes it way more fun to do that. So I'm going to start like with this color and I'm going to take my crayon and I'm just going to rub on top. Now sometimes you might think you need to peel the crayons. You don't have to peel. This actually works without peeling and I'll show you in just a minute what I'm doing. I'm just rubbing very gentle back and forth on the head of my robot and see how it's starting to come through. Now, switching my colors because like I said, I like a lot of color in my artwork. So I'm going to use orange for his neck and his body. And arm. Another arm. And for the legs, I'm going to switch my color again because I'm going to do the legs and feet the same color. Awesome. So now I have a super colorful robot. Do you see how his body shows up from that crayon rubbing? So now my robot is missing details like buttons, an eye, nose, mouth. So I can use my crayons and start working to make my robot have some details. I know you can all be super creative about robots and that you are going to really have fun making your own creation. If I still wanted to do some more artwork, what could I add around my robot? I could make a sky. I could make a ground for him to walk on. I can make a whole background for my robot if I want to keep going. I could cut out this robot and glue him to another piece of paper. Or, like I said, I can take this robot and I can decorate this one. So this project has a lot of different things that you can do with it, and you can make as many robots as you want to with this crayon rubbing. So again, what you need for it is some thin paper for the crayon rubbing, another piece of paper, and a cardboard box to cut. So we are recycling for this project. Some scissors, kid scissors, don't use these big ones like Mrs. Page. Glue. And crayons. And it's a lot of fun, so I hope you really enjoy it. Please make sure to have someone send me a picture of your artwork. You can either send it through Dojo or you can email me. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Have lots of fun!